Okay, for today's class, we continue learning Power BI through some of the challenges, and one is left from the previous session. So we look at profit and sales of different categories and compare California with Texas. And you might remember when we look at Texas, so for some category like furniture and office supplies, we had negative profit. So for today, we'll start from here. Export the problematic record in Texas to your manager. Your report should include product ID, order ID, category profit, and subcategory columns. So I'll give you a few minutes to just open your Power BI and just get to the last visualization, which was comparison of sale and profit in the states of California and Texas. So we are going to report the records that are related to categories with a negative profit. There's different ways of doing that. Today I do one. So if you hover your mouse over Texas, you see that for furniture, the profit is minus 10,000. And for office supplies, also minus almost 19K or 18K. So this is but the other one has a positive profit. So having said that, over category, I'm just selecting furniture and office supplies. From state, I'm just selecting Texas. So I'm playing with two different filters. One is state, another one the categories, because I've seen that in these two categories, I have negative profit. I want to send all of the transactions to the management level, and maybe they look at it and they try to figure out what was the problem and what they can do. For exporting the report, over those three dots, which when I hover my mouse, you see more options. Just click on it. You can do export the data, but if you want to also focus on more the columns that you're looking for, you can just right-click on Texas and show data point as a table. Again, this is not the only way. So you can probably do another filter. Instead of picking the categories, you can make a filter for and just select the minus profits. But anyway, so here I have more options in terms of selecting my columns. And from the challenge here, you see that I want product ID, order ID, category, profit, and subcategory. So here, category, I think the other one was subcategory. So for my own report, I just did these 5 columns. So as you see here, functions and filters satisfies my need. I'm just focused on Texas. I'm focused on office supplies and furniture, and the only columns that I'm looking for. So okay, it's then here when I see the more options, I can say it seems now I'm very satisfied. So let's just export. And you can just put any names that you want and just send it to save it in the location that is more comfortable for you. Just keep in mind, sometimes you might have some extra like filters. For example, here I have one for furniture and office supplies. This one is extra. I can just simply erase this filter. I wait 1 or 2 minutes, then I go to the next challenge. Okay, let's look at this challenge. The company wants to discontinue products that have negative profit. So for them, it doesn't make sense to just purchase them or produce them and put them in the shelves and sell them with a negative profit. So in the first part, find those products, and from the products that has negative profit, find the lowest and highest sales. This time, as you see, I'm using table. So then I'm picking 3 columns of product name, profit, and sale. And on the left side, as you see, I have a filter for profits. Let's just do it together. So just make it plain one, and from row 5, the second option is table. So just click on it. So we want to look at the products that has negative profit, and also then we want to look at the associated sales. So I'm picking product name, profit, and sales. These are the 3 items I'm looking for. I mean, the size is not that much great. Maybe you can just expand the figure by your mouse. So now you can see more information about the figures. The simplest way is you just export this table, and then in this maybe do sorting them in Excel. But we can do all of them in here too. You don't have to just use another software for sorting. Having said that, I want to expose a filter. So from left side, which is the filters, just I click on the arrow key next to the filter, next to the profit. I'm just saying that is less than 0 because negative profit means less than 0. And then apply filter. So if you look at my table right now, all of the profits are negative because I expose a filter for just picking the items with the negative profit. So, and look at the second part of the challenge. Which one you have the highest and lowest sale? So you can take your mouse over sale, and you see there is a black arrow key under the sales title. You just click on it, and you can sort them then by ascendingly or descendingly. So the highest sale is for Cisco telepresence system. The lowest sale is a Eureka disposable bag. So maybe on top of the negative profit, you want to also look at the sales to see which one you should make an immediate decision for discontinuing. Anyway, similar to before, you can export your information. Just take your mouse on those 3 dots and export your data. So you can just report it to maybe to your production facilities and saying that these are the items that we want you guys to just stop them immediately. So after each challenge, I stop a little bit in case you want to add comments or ask questions. After that, I just go to the next challenge. So whenever I stop, in case you have questions, you can just raise your hand, or if you're over Zoom, you can just use your mic to ask questions. We just filtered based on profit. We just we want to see the negative profits, and then just with the sort column, with the sale column, I just sort them ascendingly or descendingly. Again, for who cannot just you cannot use a Windows PC, this is optional, but I think it's knowing PowerBI is very helpful for job market. So I highly recommend to practice PowerBI in case you're looking for new positions. Just click on the sale here. Just click and just sort them. So in tables, you have less flexibility. You can expose some you can impose some filters. Also, you can play with the columns. But sometimes, if you want to have more flexibility playing with data, maybe you apply some function on the rows. You should work with the matrix. The next challenge was working with the matrix. Okay, let's assume you currently have a warehouse in Worcester, Massachusetts. You want to open another warehouse in the state that has the highest quantity of orders. Also, you have a focus on the same day delivery. So it seems you are looking at quantity of sales and quantity of same day delivery, then intuitively you want to build a warehouse in the city that has highest quantity of same day delivery. Which city do you recommend for building your second warehouse? So we know that we have column for like quantity of orders, order types, state. So we want to pick the state with the highest sale, highest quantity of sale, and then focusing on the same day delivery. So as you see, I'm using matrix. So from matrix, which is in the same row with the table. So in the fifth row, pick the item 3 matrix. So rows are state and city. Columns is ship mode. And the value is quantity. So you see, since my columns are based on ship mode and the value inside each cell is the quantity, so for each column, you see it's associated quantity. So therefore, we have associated quantity for all types of ship modes. Maybe first we can focus on total amount of quantity. So if I sort based on total, by just clicking on total, so the highest quantity is from California. So maybe it makes sense to make another headquarter warehouse in California. So next to California, I can expand the row to see the details. You might see that my rows has 2 sections of state and city. It just summarized based on state, but if I expand California, you can see all the cities within California. And again, just keep in mind, I already put city under state. And maybe I can sort them based on same day delivery. Or I'm here, I think, yeah, in this version, I cannot sort it, but still I can see which city I have the highest same day delivery quantity, which is San Francisco. So having said that, so maybe it makes sense to make another headquarter or warehouse in the San Francisco, because in California you have the highest quantity of orders, and since your focus is on same day delivery, you also try to find the city that you have highest same day delivery, which here it happened to be San Francisco. Again, it's not the only way of doing that. We want to just solve those challenges and learn some Power BI. So for teaching Power BI, matrix in Power BI, I try to answer this challenge through that. But in case for your final project, or if I give you some assignments, you don't have to do it exactly the same way that I did. Maybe even with, if you can solve it with pie chart, that's it. That's good. But at least you need to know how to work with a matrix in Power BI and what's the benefits of using matrices. Okay, so we already had saw that we had problems in the state of Texas. So now we want to dig more into it. So we want to look at performance, Texas performance in profit of each category. And also we want to see the best and worst performing cities of Texas in a table. I said in a table, but I'm using matrix for it. And as you see, having the element of city is important, profit is important, and also category. Okay, so I make a new matrix. For the row, I want to pick city, category for columns, and the performance measure here is based on profit. So I drag and drop profits. So as you see on my table or matrix here, I have so many cities for almost everywhere in the United States. I want to focus on Texas. I want to do it here with filtering. So for imposing a new filter, I'm selecting a variable of a state, drag and drop on it like this rectangle. So I make a new filter here. And from here, I'm just picking Texas. Now my cities are limited to all only a state of Texas cities. On columns, I have the categories. In the rows, I have city names, and in the middle, I have their profit. So some cities don't have any profit for some of the categories. The only reason they don't have those categories, so they don't have any order related to those categories. So still working with this table might look a little challenging because you should eyeballing and finding which one has the negative one, which one is the most positive one. So for making it easier to pick, we can impose a pattern to each cell. So let's say a color pattern shows if they have a positive or negative profit. So imposing a pattern should go through visualizations. So next to build visuals, there's a section for format your visual. So select format your visual. Thread from bottom, there's a cell element. So you are basically formatting your visuals in the cell elements. And for me here, I'm making the data bars available. So next to data bars is off. So the button is off. If I click on it, now it's on. So as you see now, I have a pattern on my cells, shows the values. So if it's a dark blue, positive. Pale blue means negative. Still, maybe if you're not happy with the colors schema, you can impose a function for the color. So maybe for the negative, you make it red. For positive, you make it blue or green. So next to data bar, there's a FX. It stands for functions. I click on it. It might take a little bit time. So for negative bars, maybe I can make it red. And sorry, for negative red, for positive maybe green. If you don't see green here, click on more colors and pick green from here. No. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't help actually. So here I can easily see it like in Houston, for office supply, I have a very negative profit. Maybe you have a lot of competition in Houston, or you need big marketing. Same for San Antonio. It seems for in Fort Worth and Houston, you have good profit for technology. So you can easily pick your performance in different cities and in different categories. Without this color pattern, it's much more harder to find your performance in different categories of different cities. Okay, so matrix filtering states, then imposing a color pattern on top of the cells. These are all the big picture of what I did in here. Okay, let's look at the next challenge. In a table, show the profit of each subcategory in each region. More specifically, identify cities that the sum of the profit is negative, less than 2,000, between 2 and 5,000, more than 5,000. Use some sort of visualization to easily find the categories in the table. So as you see in this table, for each cell, I have different icon next to them, so I can easily see what are the issues. And let's say each icon could be related to some category of profit. It's less than minus something, between some and something. So let's just do that. So still use matrix. So I think it was like subcategory, yeah. So subcategory for rows, column region, and still I think it was value profit as the value. Yes, profit is the value. As you see here, I can see profit of each subcategory in each region. I want to easily find which one is minus between 2 and 5,000 and more. So for imposing a new pattern, I need to go to visual, formatting the visuals. Click on here, again go to cell elements and select icons. So make icons activated on your visualization. So PowerBI picks some icons based on the values. I can just edit by myself and identifies the icons that I'm looking for. So under icons, again, click on FX. So to make a function for your icons. So look at here, it says between 0 to 30%, make it red diamond, 30%, 67% red triangle, but it's not the constants that you're looking for. If you look at here, it said less than 2,000, between 2 and 5,000, and more than 5,000. So, and negative ones. So I should edit them. So let's say less than 0 as a number. And I should put more than something. I just put a very negative number. It just means any number between a very small negative number to 0 should have a sign. And for the sign, if you want to reproduce, I put this sign. So let me change it. The next one is numbers of value between 0 and I think it was 2,000. So and the shape is this cross. The next one is between 2,000 and 5,000. So I make 2,000 as number less than 5,000. And the icon here is a yellow disk. The next one is a green disk. So I need to add a new rule. Here I'm just saying that any number more than 5,000 and less than a very large number. Maybe I just put 10,000. I'm just saying positive infinity. So if I click on it, now you can see icons next to my cells. I identify the subcategories based on their value. If I show you it again, I'm sorry. So anything between minus infinity to 0 is a steel curl with a white cross on it. So it seems in machines of West region and supplies of Central region, you are doing really bad. Your profit is very negative. Red cross is something between 0 and 2,000. It seems, I mean, like in art, you did really bad. So for envelopes and fasteners and maybe labels category, you also have a lot of between 0 and 2,000. So they are not great subcategories of you. Again, the goal of imposing patterns, either like icons or color pattern, is just getting a quick information from your figure. So I can easily differentiate the sales value and just finding the most problematic subcategories that I have, or what are the worst regions. It's still in the central and south. I'm not, the company is not doing well. We have a lot of low profit categories in those regions. Yeah, let's look at the next challenge. Make a dynamic table that shows sale of each category, region, and segment in different months and quarters. What's the best sale quarter? So it seems we are looking at the sales in different region, category, and segments. Also, we want to look at the best sale quarter. Still, I'm using matrix. So region, category, I think the last one was segment. So I want to look at different dates. So you can just drag and drop order date for the columns. And value is sales. So you might ask me, if we are looking at the quarters, why here you have dates in the year. So we can play with that, but just identify looking at the quarters. But let's again impose another color pattern so you can easily find the sales value by just looking at the magnitude of the color bar. So again, from format your visual, I go to cell element and pick, like, let's say this time, again, pick data bars. So you can easily look at the sales value in different years of regions. You don't have to just spend a good amount of time reading the numbers. Okay, so, but how we can to look at different segment categories and maybe quarters, month, or any other units that we have. So I said that for order date, I think A is too much small. Month maybe is not great. Year and quarter looks better. So select your matrix. Look at the lower part, lower right part. So it has some navigation to drill up. Return to drill down. Go to the next level in the hierarchy and just expand to all. So I'm selecting go to the next level. So I'm seeing categories. Before that, it was based on region. Look at the right side on the rows. The toppest one is region, then it's category and segment. So it's the reason when I drill on rows, so look at again lower right side, drill on row, and this is the level of my row. Okay, so here when I click on next, it changed from region to category. When I click next, it go to the segments. If I want to drill on, with this one, I can go back and then I drill on columns. If you drill on columns, the first level is year, then it's quarter. So here I click on next. So, and let's, from here, what is the best quarter of East region? So the blue bar, it refers to the magnitude of your sales. And on rows, we are in the region level, and on columns, we are in the quarter. So What is the best quarter of East region in terms of sales? Yes. Why? Largest blue bar. Yeah. Again, maybe here again I can go to row and drill on rows. So in quarter 4, what's the best category? Yeah, technology is still largest blue bar. So let me go back for both of them. Row, column. So there is another icon. This is important. So the second one is click to turn on drill down. If you click on it, the drill down option is activated. Now you can directly click on rows and columns. For me, like, let me click on 2019. I go to the quarter. As you see, I click on the rows. And I went from region to the segments. So if you make it activated, you can just click directly on the rows and columns, and you can just drill down. Still, you can use this navigation. So you can, let's say, maybe for rows, you want to just go back one up and one. So as you see, it seems it's a dynamic table with drilling down options. You can go to the different details. And here we are focusing on sales. You can find sales of different quarters or year in different subcategories, in different categories, region, and segments. Okay, the next challenge, compare the order quantity. In which region you have the most or least amount of monthly order quantity. So it seems we are drilling down on date, and we want to get to the month as the time unit, and we also look at the quantity. Quantity of different regions. So let me go to the next, make it empty ones. So pick either line chart or area chart. For me, line is easier for me to work with. So I'm picking line chart. The first one from the second row. And for the axis, I want to just pick order date. For the legends, I want to pick regions because I want to look at regions performance. And the values, I think it was quantity here. So I'm picking quantity. There's that. So this time the drilling options are on top. So you can drill down and get to more details. So for example, 2018. And I'm in the monthly ones. Maybe I can exclude day and month. I think quarter is enough. So Okay, having said that, if even we look at the annual performance, it seems for West region, you overall almost for all of them you had improved. For West region from 2016 to 17, you had a drop in quantity of sales. There's another way of picking the time unit that you want. So from under build visual, maybe you can deselect year and just have quarters there. Either way is fine. So again, the goal is looking at the time series of your quantities and seeing what is your performance in different regions in different time units. So let's look at the monthly order quantity on each region. They have different quantity levels, but it seems they have similar patterns. So as you see, it seems the highest quantity of orders is like in November, December. Can anyone justify that or say why you see a big boost from October to November, or why almost in November you have the highest sale? So have you ever guys been in Black Friday? So it could be a reason. Maybe you should look at the details of the orders, but maybe it's the reason why you have a lot of orders in November. Thanksgiving might be another reason too. So again, learning Power BI, it seems cool, but you also need to practice how to interpret your figures. So when you report such a figure, you should have at least your interpretation. So sometimes it's harder, sometimes you need to expand more or look at details, but still, this is the most important skill that you need to improve. So why the lowest order quantity is in January? Can anyone interpret that? So find the reason. Yeah, so maybe before holidays, they already bought whatever they wanted for the new year, or maybe after like holidays trip, they bankrupt, so they don't have enough money to order new products. There could be several reasons for that. But again, just do this practice. I mean, learning. And next session, you even learn advanced Power BI. So in those 3 sessions, you learn a lot. But if you cannot interpret it, nobody buys it from you. The next challenge: compare annual changes in sales and profit. What are the most contributing regions in annual profit? So we are looking at the annual profit, and also we want to look at the performance of each region. Maybe I just. So this figure that you're looking at here is clustered column chart and line chart, so it has both of them. As you see, I'm looking at my axis is the date, and column says region, values profit, and lines are profit and sale. Line and clustered chart is number 5 in the second row. For the axis, I'm putting the order date, column series region, column values profit, and line values, maybe both are profit and sale. Oops. So if you look at this figure, I have two y-axis. On the left, the numbers is like 0K 2040. In the right side are they are in millions, because we are looking at profit and sale. And also we have another one, which is we are looking at each region's value. So just keep in mind, these are two different units for two different types of data. So say your sales is much more than your profit for sure. Having said that, so looking at different 2018 and 2019, what is the most contributing regions for profit? West, yeah. So in West region, you have the highest profit. So because the orange one is for West, and it's the tallest column. So the last 2 years, this is the best region. And what was the worst region in 2019? Central, yeah. It has the shortest column bar, and so you see problems, and sometimes you find the reason. Sometimes you should make a report and ask other people what was the reason, or what can you do. Maybe you can do a marketing campaign, or maybe you have some items that you cannot sell and you have a lot of negative profits. So maybe you should get rid of some items in the central regions. So that could be a project, and it's how makes you valuable for organizations. So yeah, they don't want somebody to draw figures. They want people who interpret the current situation and find some solutions. Okay, let me wait 1 or 2 minutes, then I go to the next part. Okay, let's look at the next challenge. It seems from 2016 to 17, there's a drop in sales. Let's dig more into it. Show the contributing of each sales category in annual sales. So we are looking at the dates, category, and sales. But let's go back to Power BI in the previous challenge. As you see, from 2016 to 17, there's a drop in sales. So we want to find its reason looking at the categories that are problematic. So let me just find the figure. Okay. So pick waterfall chart is the first from the third row. So under category, just drag and drop order date. So we want to find contributing categories. So for breakdown, you pick category. And the values is sales. So from left to right, you can see what happens in each year. For example, from 2016 to 2017, look at the magnitude of the blue bar. It just shows the total sales. So 2016, you have more sales than 2017. Look at the green and red bars. Green means you had increase. So although the overall sales dropped from 2016 to 17, you sold more furniture, but the negative bar shows the overall performance of technology and office supplies. In both categories, you had a drop from 2016 to 17. However, after 2017, on top of each category indicated, like technology, office supplies, and furniture, you have green bars. It just means you could sell more in comparison 2017 to 18, and also 18 to 19. Also, you have green bars. So it seems, although in 2016 and 17 you had some decrease in your sales, but after that, almost in every year, you had some improvement of sales. So here, if somebody say what happened from 2016 to 17, you can say you had some drop of sales in technology and office supplies, and it was the reason you have lower total amount of sales in 2017. Okay, so let's wait a little bit here. Then we go to the next part, which is making dashboards in Power BI. Okay, next challenge. We call the challenge that you had finding a headquarter in a city that you had the highest quantity of orders. Now your manager wants to make more sophisticated decision in building headquarters. The company asks you to make a dashboard that shows the top 5 states with the highest sales, then provides the quantity, profit, the most profitable subcategory, and top 5 subcategory with highest quantity of sale. So if you recall from even Tableau, if I just oversimplify, in dashboard, you have several connected figures. When you click on one of them, the other items in other figures could change. For example, maybe here if I click on different states, I see the different sales and profit in different sections of my dashboard. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So it seems I have a map showing the top 5 states with highest sales. Also, I have some cards on top of the map showing the profit, quantity, and the most profitable subcategories, and one in the right side, top 5 subcategory with the highest quantity of sales. Okay, so first time, we need to create the map based on state and their sales. So I click on map. Location is still a state. If it doesn't work, you remember how to convert a variable to a geographical unit. So you click on a state. Under column tools, if it's under categories, maybe you can select a state or region. But maybe you don't have to. Sometimes that's totally fine. For legend, maybe I can still use legend as a, region as a legend. And size, I drag and drop sales. So if you eyeball it, maybe you can find the best performing states, but let's pick the top 5. I go on the left side, under filters, title, and for the sales, I change is less than to top 5, but I think here it doesn't let me to do that. So let me see less than filter. If it doesn't, that's fine. I again drag and drop sales. This time filter type is advanced. And I think, okay, I change it to top 5 and show the top 5 with the highest sales. So the value here, still I can drag and drop sales. And then I apply the filter. Let me just clean and do it again so you guys can see what I did. So as you see here, I couldn't do anything because it doesn't let me to do that. So maybe I think even for a state you can do. So top 5 and the value, again, I drag and drop sales. So basically I play with the state. So first time I drag and drop sales again. I make a new filter for sales, but here you don't have to do that. You can simply make a filter on top of your state variable, and you pick top 5 based on the sales value. Let me resize it. Okay, so if you go back in that dashboard, I have some values. So I have a card showing the profit, quantity, and the most profitable subcategory. For showing these values, on the left side, on the right side, I'm clicking. I would click on card. Card is number 4 in the 4th row. I can resize. And for the fields, I just drag and drop profit. So this is the overall profit. It's automatically created dashboard. In Tableau, it has one more step. If I click on California, number is changed to California profit. If I click on Texas, look, it's negative. Same for New York. The second one was a quantity card. Again, on the first I click on the white space here, then on the right side, again I click on card. This time, I for the fields value, I drop quantity. Okay, so also we want to have another card showing the most profitable subcategory. So still I'm working with the subcategory. The most means I'm looking for the highest profit. So I make a new card. For the fields, this time I'm picking subcategory. I mean, the order here is the first one, but we want to have the most profitable. So I need to modify the filter. So I think this one shouldn't be that much great. So let me just drag and drop another subcategory here. Top. I'm looking at the most profitable, so top one. And I think that's quantity, not profit. So let me just look at this profit. So for the value, I'm drag and drop profit. And then apply. So copiers is the most profitable subcategory in those 5 states. So having the name of first subcategory is not that much intuitive. You can rename it. So under build visual and just take your mouse over first subcategory, right click and just rename it. Instead of first subcategory, I rename it the most profitable subcategory. Again, look at this dashboard. If I click on each city, values are different. For example, California, the most profitable subcategory is, let's see what is something about accessories. Yeah, it's accessories. In New York, it's machines and the different quantity and different profit. The last part, as you see, we want to look at the top 5 subcategories with highest quantity of sales. So as you see this time, it seems I already have a card, but this time with multiple lines. So you should pick the correct ones, which is multi-row card. So click on the white section of your figure. This time, pick the multi-row card, which is number 5 in the 4th row. We are looking at subcategories. And what was the thing? I think we are looking at the quantity. So now I have all the subcategories there. I want to pick top 5. So I need to impose a filter for the quantity and pick top 5. So quantity, drag and drop here, top 5. Let's just change it to sub. I think if you change to subcategories better. So drag and drop subcategories, top 5, and the value is quantity. And then apply. I rename it to the top 5 categories with highest quantity. And for just putting a title, I just click on text box. The top 5 subcategories with highest quantity of sales. And you can then format it, maybe bold it, change the color to the red, you can change the font, so on and so forth. So this time, if I click on Washington, you see the top 5 subcategories are different. New York, different, and California, different too. So as you see, making dashboards in PowerBI is much easier. You just drag and drop the items you're looking for, and it automatically creates a dashboard. You don't have to connect them as you do in Tableau. Questions? So again, for these things, I think maybe the only challenging part might be how to pick the best filter. So filtering might be a little challenging, but the other part is very straightforward. So some parts of the Power BI is remained. Hopefully I do in the next session. So we go over more advanced dashboards, more advanced reporting, and also how to have R code and Python codes in Power BI. So as you see, Power BI has a good amount of tools for making advanced visualizations, but definitely you don't have the flexibility of R and Python. If you want to use R and Python visualizations in Power BI, you don't need to make separate code. So you can make your coding within Power BI and make all of them ready. So if you are people from MSPA programs and you think you know some good packages in R or Python, can anyone recall some of those packages? So have you ever done visualization? Which one? Matplotlib, yeah. So in the next session, you learn how to use power of either Python or R in Power BI and make those advanced visualizations that you couldn't find within pre-built Power BI tools. Questions? Okay, so if there is no question, let's just finish today's class and get our attendance.